and I can't get close. I can't get close.
It's Friday. I have been glued to, I keep refreshing BBC News for information on this election, and I just cannot get into my groove. I'm just trying so hard to get through my work, but my mind is elsewhere. I've got a call in a minute with one of my patrons, which I'm excited about. That's literally how I feel. Oh, I want to know. I don't want to keep waking up. I mean, I knew that this election would just be so, like, long, because they said that leading up to it, but it's hard to be patient, isn't it? I'm feeling positive, but at the same time, I don't like feel relaxed. Yeah, I saw the charts of how, if you go to Gina Martin's post, I saw the charts of the actual demographics, and more white women have voted for Trump this year than they did in 2016, so that's great. Good one. Obviously I'm being sarcastic. It's really, how do I feel? I'm not surprised in terms of like the amount of white people that are voting for him. I'm not surprised the amount of white educated people are voting for him. It's just seeing the numbers of the amount of people that have voted for Trump is just, but it doesn't shock me, and it doesn't I just think like it's not a surprise, but it's just seeing it in those numbers and seeing the amount of people that voted for him is just makes me want to be sick. So yeah, I mean, I got a green tea. I got a whole pot of green tea. I'm going to try and focus on my tasks, but it's proving quite difficult. But yeah, I thought I tried really hard to stay away, and now I just keep going to the BBC and refreshing it every hour. So yeah, I've got a call with Amy in 2 minutes, so yeah, that's it really. That's what I'm up to, yeah. Hi, how are you? I'm good. I'm a little bit tense for the election. But I've been like constantly refreshing it, and I need to stop doing that. Shift focus away from confidence and more about courage, or what's the other one, like there's another word, I'm missing it, persistence, and other things that you don't necessarily need to be like the best to start. It's all just, for me it was just about starting and habits and like sticking to like self deadlines and showing up for myself, and then confidence comes with time after doing that consistently, successfully over really long periods of time. So it's completely normal to, when you're figuring yourself out or figuring your art out or figuring things out, to feel unconfident. The analogy I like to always say is, when you start to drive a car, you don't get in the first time and think, oh yeah, I'm going to be I'm going to be so good at this. Like, everyone usually is like nervous or worried about hitting someone or... There you go. Well, my friend Richard refused to put the radio on for ages because he was so nervous. So just acknowledge that it's completely normal. It's... Oh, it's hard to do with one hand.
For protesting for rights and the right for the poor people, for workers,
Yeah.
for women, for so many things, better jobs, better housing, and better education. But if you got money, you don't care about that because you can have it.
It's ignorance and privilege.
Yeah.
Well, because even they were saying how, I mean, when they were talking in the parliament, when they were talking about period products, there were MPs that was like, well, they'll just take the period products out of people's wage. Like, that makes sense. They just don't get that people can't, the reality of choosing between that and rent and putting the lights on and feeding your child.
Yeah.
And it's like the school lunches. Like, I had quite a few people, when I did that illustration that showed you something about free lunches. Remember?
No.
It was like free lunches shouldn't be a luxury or something, or not a luxury. I got some comments that were like, well, these people work, they have parents, they can just pay for them, pay for their lunches. When it's like the reality is that people don't know what being poor actually means.
All the people said that people should have savings. Why they don't use their savings for those emergency? Because a lot of people say because of the coronavirus now they don't have a job.
Yeah.
Well, why don't they use their savings?
It's ignorance. It's pure ignorance, because when you've had everything given to you and always been able to afford not only your way but luxuries, people can't fathom it. And I have had friends that are just confused, by like not having, by me not having things. Like, I remember when everyone got given a car, I remember people like really confused, like, well, what did you do wrong? Like, why didn't you get a car? It's just like, it's just, it's even though there are horrible rich people, what I've seen in what I've experienced most of the time is just pure ignorance of not being able to do the math.
Yeah. And not having the knowledge of what's going on around, because they live in the rich bubble.
It's very annoying. It's very annoying.
I remember when you have a boyfriend, it didn't last long because he lived near the post office in a road to the left. And then I was taking her.
I don't remember this.
Yes, I remember. The next house was a very big BMW in the drive or something like that.
Mum, this is...
And he said, yeah, we'll see each other on Saturday. You said, no, because I have to work. And he said, why you have to work? And you were very annoyed after, because you said, he doesn't have a clue. I have to work to help. And then he made a comment, I think it was racist comment or something, and you finished with him straight away.
I don't remember this.
Yeah, I think you only were together for a week or something like that.
Oh, yeah, well. All that's all happened to all my boyfriends.
And then after you finished with that,
Yeah. Good riddance. You were proud of me that what, did you really think I would just stay with him just because he had money?
No, not that, but when we don't, I could have been wow, you know what it is.
Doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah.
It means nothing.
That's what I was like, wow, she's a strong girl. That's how I like it.
Yeah.
Because at the time we used to have a lot of arguments. We didn't get on very well because you wanted to go out all the time. And I was so worried that you're going to be too...
What, that I just want to get married or something?
Un poquito going out, have fun and no study. How I was so worried because you like to go out a lot. And especially, school was hard. So I was really worried. I was really frightened that you're just going to get lost in the way with a lot of boyfriends and not achieving anything.
Well, I did achieve anything, and I did have a lot of boyfriends. Well, I had a lot of boyfriends, but I have a lot of values as well.
Yeah, well, that's what I said. That's why I was worried, because I was thinking you would just...
So that was a good moment for you where you realised that, oh, she's going to be someone that stays,
truly to her values.
You were like, raised her well.
Well,
you didn't think that?
No,
because it is.
No, I never said, oh, I've done a good job. I never done that, because we were in una cuerda.
But I still like going out.
Yeah, but at that time,
you were scared.
Yeah, think of a girl, 15-year-old, when they start going out, they start to enjoy life, they start to like boys and drinking and smoking as we used to do.
You were worried.
And having so many friends, and you were very, very sociable right from the beginning. You were always right from nursery.
You said that before, that memory is like a one that stuck out to you. Like it was like a moment where you kind of saw me, when I broke up with that boyfriend.
Yeah. I mean, I still remember. I don't remember.
It's so interesting to see what you... Because it must have been quite fundamental for you.
Yeah.
And has therefore been projected as the winner. Throughout, his strategy was to exude presidential calm and patience, in sharp contrast to the incumbent in the White House. President Trump is still threatening legal action over the states he lost. Since the polls closed, the president has been alleging electoral fraud without providing any evidence. And judging from his tweets, he's clearly not in a conciliatory mood, writing in full caps, "I won this election by a lot." But behind the scenes and the president's bravado, the Trump camp had slowly begun to accept that the race was slipping away from them.
Doctors and nurses and EMTs, and now this week we're seeing election workers literally risking their lives to simply count the votes. And at the end of the day, I think the American people's voices have been heard. No matter what happens in Washington, we wait for their votes. Yep. We call the election based on how they voted. Yeah. And millions of Americans who have really suffered, especially this year, said today that they wanted something completely different.
And that's, I think, as Trump becomes the first president, I think, in almost 30 years, not to win a second term,
I say that.
It will be hard for him to accept.
Yeah.
It is hard for him to accept. But in the end, I hope he is gracious.
He won't be.
Can muster some graciousness.
He won't.
When it comes to Joe Biden.
Crying, they're hugging, they're cheering, they're singing na 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 na, he's gone. And joining me now to give you a flavour of what people here are saying and feeling, I have with me Cheryl Phillips and Charles Mundy. Thank you both so much for being with the BBC at this moment. Cheryl, tell me, how are you feeling at this news that Joe Biden has been predicted to be the president-elect?
I'm very excited, very pleased, very proud of my country.
Wow, I'm really making such a habit of being really a mess in these vlogs. I've just broken up. I can't stop crying. And then it also kind of reminds me of how I felt when he did get voted in, which was just like pure disgust, and how we've all been so accustomed to such a disgusting standard for someone with so much power, with no shame, and how actually, we've all not got used to it, but like it's almost like, you know, he set this bar that was just awfully low for someone who has so much power, and it's just nice to know that that he'll be going out. It's just a nice feeling. And there's so many Indigenous women as well that have been elected. AOC, Alexandra Cortez, has been re-elected, even though her opponent, I feel like a fucking journalist, even though her opponent raised £10 million to fund a campaign against her. Some really interesting people have been elected, including, like, you know, trans people that have been elected, which is so wonderful. And yeah, I'm just so happy. Not in a sense like I'm relaxing or I'm putting my feet up or I'm gonna get brunch. Like, I feel you just for me, I feel like I'll continue doing my work and supporting others that do the work, but it's just a little win, isn't it? It just feels glorious after this, like, after so long. Oh my days, did we need some good news for 2020 finally. If you want to know my thoughts on the election, I wrote a really long caption on my Instagram story, Instagram post. I know the difference. If you want to know my full thoughts about it, I wrote a really long caption. I'm just gonna put it here, just so that if you're interested, you can read it here. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. I've never uploaded one day after another. Who am I? Am I a daily vlogger? Is that happening? No, it's not. I'm really excited, and I felt like it was fitting because it's like current affairs, news stuff. I wanted to like post it now just as I finished editing today, so don't expect more daily videos from me anytime soon, but yeah, I'm just super excited, so here we go. Big thank you to my patrons who allow me to make this kind of content and allow me the time to edit and put these together. If you want to become one of my patrons, the link is in my bio. I post a weekly podcast about creativity and motivation and like self-helpy, all on there. Can't think if there's anything. I also have a shop, which is a great way that you can support me and my work. I made a video about overwhelm, one on motivation, and like various other videos like that lots of people have been asking me about advice on those topics, so I'm going to put them in the description of this video. And I think that's it. I keep saying I'm tired, I'm gonna go to bed, and thank you so much for watching. Please hit subscribe if you like this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
And I can't get close.